foggy and enchanted. No one would know where they came from. Many of my friends visited me there. Catrin, I wish you could have come and visited me there too. We'd make art, and we'd go on long walks, and we'd watch endless trashy experimental films. My friend Janelle was over from New Jersey visiting her English boyfriend. We stood in the fog one day waiting for it to clear so we could see that very view to North Wales. It didn't clear. I wonder if you also stood out over the hills, looking over to England's more modest hills. These are photos from that day, by the way. And here's the vantage point where you could see Wales, and a sepia-tone version. I spent a lot of my time longing for the mountains, and when I did finally make it to the bothy, I had underestimated the weight of the firewood that would help feed us and keep us warm. I'd underestimated the quiet and the deafening remains that had been ringing in my ears that we carry as Londoners. I don't consider you a Londoner though, Catrin. Even though you're here, I don't think you'd like it. You carry something rooted to the North Welsh slate. And when I reached the bothy, I wanted to take everything in. I wanted to remember every inch, to carry it with me when I was back in London. My camera had to do the work, my crumbling Nikon FM2. And whilst combing every page in every logbook and every diary I found scattered around the bothy, I found your diary entry, and it leaped out to me. It read, 5th of January, can barely write, cold hands, feeling in touch with winter here. In Siberia, they say your breath can freeze and drop to the ground, like ice. They call it the whispering of the stars. Looking now at the galaxy of the cracked window, a whole galaxy of sharp edges like the ridges of the Black Lake where one summer I swam under the surface and searched for the propeller, getting lost in that deep black ink. A beautiful walk and journey today, thinking of our ancestors who are the people of the heights. Fingers warmer now, stained by the dry coffee around the tip of this blunt, used pencil. Catrin Menai. This was my reply that I'd left in the bothy. It says Eleanor Carver, my partner's name. In the howl of the night, we arrived alone to the bothy. A single white pony greeted us on the steep climb and hard falls. We got lost in a cloud yesterday and emerged damp after some time. You must try the water on the peaks, it's heavenly. After reading your diary entry, I needed to know you, in the way I've needed to know all my lifelong friends. That evening, I guessed your age, but I guessed wrong. I had you down as a woman who had seen and felt life. If not older than me, you must have been wise beyond your years. I wondered if you might be Welsh, but I thought you might also be American or Canadian, something in the hand. I don't know. Maybe you were Canadian. When we got home, before unpacking, I looked up your name. I didn't really expect to find you. I'm rarely that lucky. But this time, I was. I found the articles and discussions about you. I didn't know what to say to establish any contact with you, so I wrote a blog post hoping the photos would carry over and convey what I really wanted to say. That's what photographers do, after all. The more I read about you, the more I felt perhaps I'd be the sort of heavy-handed person who couldn't meet your elegance. You're so articulate, you see. The week passed quickly, and you were present, although I'd never met you. I wanted you to know that I loved the landscape and I loved your words, and they belonged there. You lived up to my hopes. You're an artist, a writer, a poet. During the first letter I wrote to you, I did this shoot. I like to think that your essence informed them. I like to read our conversations flowing in and out of the images that we both made at this time. Where I live now in Poplar, I'm a fair way from the mountains, and I have monoliths of my own. I work with new landscapes that I've fallen in love with. Here I have a shoot from Botham Tower, in its tragic transfer from social housing to privately owned flats. And I've learnt to love the new loneliness and melancholy of Hackney Marshes, a place I spend my summer days. But you tell me of Hampstead and the quiet corners you've found, so I know that next time I write to you there are new locations and new adventures to come. But I know by the time I'd made these particular images in a fleeting visit to Arborough in North Wales. We were firm friends, and I know for certain that your essence had informed these images with Janelle. The same girl who looked over at me with from the peaks in Derbyshire, trying to see you over the fog from the vantage points. With so much love, Ellen. Before I end, this is the only photo I have of Catrin. I need to remedy that.